Good afternoon, everyone. Here's what's coming up now on Acadiana's News Channel at 5.
Good evening, Acadiana. We're here in Scott today ahead of the Boudin Ball. Organizers say it's the first ever. Those details and more still to come.
And we're getting you ready for Downtown Alive this evening. Plus, the Times bringing forward 1 hour tomorrow night. We'll get a reaction from people in Acadiana. Coming up.
Ooh, Rob, we got everybody out in the field this Friday evening.
Yeah.
How's the forecast looking?
Well, we had plenty of showers in the area today, more than expected, but they're moving away. It's a drier forecast into tomorrow and the weekend, the tale of 2 days. Good-looking Saturday, so-so Sunday, but a strong front on the way. We'll tell you how it's all going to play out coming up.
We're talking weather. La Nina officially over as we welcome El Nino. What this means for us in our forecast coming up. And the Kiwanis Regional Spelling Bee happening tonight with tonight's winner heading to Nationals. We'll take you there live. The News on 3 starts right now.
Live from the KATC TV3 studios, this is Acadiana's News Channel at 5.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Marcel Fontenot, starting your news at 5. We're about a month away from the Scott Boudin Festival. And what's a festival without an official poster? Our Taylor Toole joining us live from Scott at the event center as the big reveal approaches. And Taylor, we hear there's a ball happening as well.
Good evening, Marcel. That's right. If you look right behind me, it's the Boudin Ball, and organizers say it's the first ever. And with that said, it's to commemorate not only 10 years of the Boudin Festival, that'll be this year, but also to say au revoir, if you will, to the outgoing royalty. That's Queen Emily. She's the 9th Boudin Festival queen. And now with that said, there's a lot of other things that come into play with this tonight. And while we're still a little ways away from the actual Boudin Festival, there's lots to be discovered here tonight at this ball. Now, with everything, when everything is said and done, what you can expect, this is hosted by the Boudin Festival Association as well as the City of Scott. And like I said, this is the first ever Boudin Ball, and it's all to celebrate what we know and what we're looking forward to coming up in April. Now, of course, everyone here tonight, this is going to be kicking off at 6 p.m. We're going to have that big poster reveal, and then the ball itself will be going on at 7. So people are just rolling back in here, and it's a lot to be excited for. People just started walking in, and we'll be speaking with some folks here shortly. That's going to be coming up at 6. But for now, live in Scott, Taylor Toole, KATC TV3.
And the Scott Boudin Festival, as Taylor mentioned, happening April 14th through 16th. For more information, head over to our website. Well, there are all sorts of events happening around Acadiana this weekend, but if you'll be out enjoying late tomorrow night, remember, you're going to lose an hour. Bradley Benoit joining us live from Downtown Alive, where people are enjoying this hour while we have it. Bradley, what are folks thinking about the time change?
Hey, Marcel, yeah, Downtown Alive, and all the fun is going to be getting underway here within the hour at 6 p.m. So still time to get on out here if you'd like to enjoy some good live entertainment. Now, technically, the fun this weekend is going to be cut short by an hour as the time is going to be springing forward tomorrow night. And with that, of course, the days will gradually get longer, the nights shorter through June, with the summer solstice occurring in mid-June. Now, for the majority of people I spoke with, they are looking forward to the later sunsets and wish the change this Saturday night would be permanent. Do you think it should be something that is set in stone or continue to change every
No. Once it happens this Sunday, stop. That's it. No more.
You don't like
Forever 7:30 sunsets. That's it.
I don't think it needs to fluctuate. I think this is what people want. So I think that Congress really needs to look at just setting it like it is now and let it go.
And, you know, of course, not everyone necessarily in favor of the time springing forward. Some of you maybe don't mind when it falls back. We talked to an individual coming up tonight at 6 who offers a proposal for you folks, so stay tuned for that. But, of course, again, Downtown Alive will get underway here at 6 p.m. this evening in downtown Lafayette. We'll have another report coming up tonight at 6. But, of course, on everyone's mind, that weekend forecast. I know, Marcel, you're standing by with Chief Meteorologist Rob Perillo in the Weather Lab, and he has a look at our weekend forecast.
Absolutely, and thank you, Bradley. Okay, Rob, folks heading out to Downtown Alive or making other weekend plans need to prepare for slightly cooler temperatures, right?
That is correct. Notice we're 72 in Lafayette, but you go up to Opelousas, 61 degrees in your hometown.
In my neck of the woods.
That's where we're heading later on tonight, but it's a fizzling front. And we take a look at the Doppler radar. We see most of the shower activity. We had a pretty good soaking earlier today, and those showers will be diminishing. Here's a look at Power Doppler 3. Most of the activity now coastal areas. Cameron has a nice little thunder shower there, but that activity easing off to the east and southeast. So overnight tonight, we are looking at, again, mostly cloudy skies, some clearing, though, by tomorrow, and a sun and cloud mix tomorrow. Temperatures topping out in the upper 70s to lower 80s, and then as we head into Sunday, change on the way. Frontal boundary to the north should produce some showers as we head into Sunday afternoon. Temperature-wise, we're talking 60s overnight tonight, at least for Lafayette, but already we are thinking mid to upper 50s for northern portions of Acadiana. Then for tomorrow, a pretty nice day. Tomorrow will be the nicest day for the weekend. Breezy as well, with south to southwest winds increasing 15 to 25 tomorrow afternoon. So in the short term, Marcel, we're looking at a pretty nice weather picture. Sunday, more clouds, but then cooler weather on the way. But you have some climate news, some long-term.
Yeah, Rob, El Nino is on its way. According to NOAA, La Nina has officially ended as of yesterday. If we can get Akila to go ahead and roll that prompter for me so I can finish telling you about this. So what does this mean for our weather? Well, El Nino is associated with a band of warm water in the Pacific Ocean, which impacts weather patterns around the globe. It generally increases hurricane activity in the Pacific, but has the opposite effect in the Atlantic. So as El Nino begins this summer, we could see less activity in the Atlantic hurricane season. El Nino tends to bring more rain and snow to California, which is already in a wet pattern, and El Nino patterns as well. Temperatures tend to spike as well. The World Meteorological Association says El Nino and La Nina happen naturally, but are happening along human-induced climate change, making our weather more extreme in some cases. Well, now to state news. The sheltering program for Hurricane Ida is ending in May. The governor's office made the announcement today and says it does not affect those in FEMA manufactured housing units. The program helped thousands who lost their homes during the Category 4 hurricane that hit the state in August of 2021. First Lady Jill Biden visiting New Orleans for the first time today. Dr. Biden and Senator Bill Cassidy toured the Louisiana Cancer Research Center there in the Crescent City. The First Lady highlighted the importance of investing in cancer research, marking National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. It's all part of the Biden administration's Cancer Moonshot Initiative, a bipartisan policy aimed at decreasing cancer death rates. Early voting for the March 25th election starts tomorrow here at home in Iberia Parish. The race for Jeanerette Mayor is on the ballot, along with several alderman races. On to Vermilion now. Voters there will decide on renewing a property tax to continue maintaining the drainage system in District 2. And in St. Mary Parish, a seat for School Board District 4 up for grabs. Early voting ends on March 18th. Students here in Acadiana are hoping to spell their way to the T.O.P. The regional spelling bee happening tonight. Jim joining us live tonight from the bee that's underway at SLCC. Hey, Jim.
Marcel, good evening. Tonight's regional spelling bee is being hosted by the Lafayette Kiwanis Club. We are live over at SLCC, where students and their families have started to come in to the auditorium where tonight's competitions will be held. Now, there are two bees being held for tonight for two divisions. First up, there are students in 3rd through 5th grade who will be spelling against one another. And then the big event of the night, 6th through 8th grade. That is the division which is competing for a spot in the Scripps National Spelling Bee coming up later this year. The Kiwanis Club pays for travel and hotel costs for the winner and one parent or guardian to go up to the Washington, D.C. area later this year for the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Scripps is, of course, KATC's parent company. Will have coverage of Bee Week at the end of May. Now, there are about 20 students in each division who are competing. The Little Bee, those 3rd through 5th graders, that competition gets started at 5:45. And then the Big Bee, 6th through 8th graders, that spelling bee will get underway at around 7 o'clock. We'll have coverage throughout the night. Again, one winner from Acadiana will represent Acadiana in the Scripps National Spelling Bee later this year. We're live in Lafayette tonight. Jim Hummel, KATC TV3.
Righty, thank you, Jim. Well, happening tomorrow in Crowley, the 7th Annual Youth Summit. The summit is designed to bring young people together to discuss important issues affecting their lives and their community. The free event is complete with a lineup of engaging speakers and interactive activities, providing a valuable and inspiring experience.
You know, people that, you know, for lack of better words, you know, got it from the mud. Just, you know, to demonstrate, you know, you can start in one place and you know, wind up, you know, somewhere a lot better.
Well, this is Janae Abear. She is an 8th grader from Franklin who will be visiting the nation's capital as part of the National Youth Leadership Program Pathways to STEM. Abear says she plans to major in criminal justice and one day work in law enforcement. She's one of several students, Louisiana middle schoolers to be exact, going to this event in Washington, D.C. to take part in a unique academic and career-oriented development experience. Well, the spring blooms are happening, and there's no better place to see some of these vibrant colors than Rip Van Winkle Gardens on Jefferson Island. It's Friday and time for a Dave Trip.
Dave Trips, sponsored by Hub City Ford.
Jefferson Island isn't really an island at all. Prehistoric salt domes were created over the years, pushing up the land, creating rare hills in the coastal marshes. Jefferson Island has nearby siblings, the famous Avery Island, home of Tabasco, Weeks Island, Cote Blanche Island, and Belle Isle. The Joseph Jefferson Mansion, built in 1870, sitting on top of the salt dome here on Jefferson Island at an elevation of 75 feet. Joseph Jefferson was a world-famous actor that portrayed Rip Van Winkle for the first time in 1865 in London. He continued this role for 40 years and was one of the most recognized characters in the 19th century. The home, surrounded by majestic live oak trees, including some over 500 years old. The Cleveland oak, named for President Grover Cleveland, who was known to nap under the tree when visiting the famous actor. The mansion is now on the National Register of Historic Places. It's a Victorian-style mansion, complete with a cupola. Great for natural light, but also to help cool the house during the long Louisiana summers. You can tour the home, and there's plenty of artwork and rare furniture from the period for you to enjoy. For decades, salt was mined from the dome, and over 2 million tons was brought out. The house and gardens sit near the beautiful Lake Penieur, a shallow freshwater lake in Jefferson's time, but after a 1980 disaster where a drilling rig punctured the mine, the lake drained, the vortex not only pulling out the water, but displacing acres of land around the lake. Today, you can enjoy the calm waters of the lake. The 15-acre gardens are filled with semi-tropical plants, beautiful oaks, and wildlife. And a few will be posing for you and strutting their stuff. There's a lot of shade, and with that little bit of elevation, it's a great walk. Don't forget Rip's Rookery. The island is home to hundreds of species of birds, including the picturesque roseate spoonbill. It's a place to enjoy native and migratory birds. Bird watchers and photographers will love it. Enjoy South Louisiana cuisine at Cafe Jefferson. It's open every day for lunch, dine al fresco, or eat inside with a great view of the lake. You can get anything from a po' boy to gumbo, homemade soups and seafood, and don't forget the desserts. Perhaps you'd like to spend the night or several nights on Jefferson Island. You have two choices, Cook's Cottage or the Servants' Quarters. Both come with a free continental breakfast and tours of the garden in the Jefferson home. Make sure you visit the gift shop on your way out. Jefferson Island, full of beauty, color, history, and more.
Thank you, Dave, for that trip. And still to come on Acadiana's News Channel at 5, a mass shooting at a church in Germany, leaving 6 people dead, others injured. We'll have more on that story coming up in a little bit. But first, Rob's forecast. Rob?
Yeah, cooler temperatures tonight, but warming back up this weekend. Stronger front on the way for Sunday. We'll tell you how it's all going to play out. And when's our next good chance of rain coming up right after the break.
Projected high. Also today, Dr. Klossbaugh and Colorado State University coming out with their initial hurricane season forecast for 2023. Not a surprise here. They are forecasting a slightly below normal season, 13 named storms, 6 hurricanes, 2 of which they expect to become major hurricanes. But Jim, we talk about this kind of each and every year.
doesn't really matter what the forecast says. It only
Yeah.
takes one storm to impact the area to make it an active year.
And we all know that all too well. But I suppose we'll take good news where we can, especially when we're talking about hurricane season.
We'll take lower number storms for sure.
All right, very good. Bradley, thanks. Meanwhile, another weather note here. A National Weather Service meteorologist says the flooding in South Florida may be the result of a once-in-millennia rainstorm. The meteorologist said 14 to 20 inches fell in less than 24 hours, approaching hurricane levels. Some gauges show an even larger total, although it's unclear if they're accurate. By the way, Key West holds the state rainfall record for getting 23.28 inches way back in 1980.
This KATC Weather Alert is sponsored by the Jim Olivier family of companies.
Good afternoon, Acadiana. Well, we do have another tornado warning in effect for Vermilion Parish, so let's get over to the weather wall. Busy afternoon unfolding. You can see all the showers and storms, and just got word from the Storm Prediction Center that they are going to be issuing a new tornado watch. I would think it's going to be very shortly for the rest of Acadiana and farther to the east. Now, here's that warning that we have down here in Vermilion Parish, a cell that is heading toward the Highway 14 corridor. This is the cell right here, moving generally to the north. It's going to move between Kaplan and Gaydon, but we have detected a little bit of a circulation. So here's the current warning right now. Let's go ahead. That, I believe, is in effect till 5:15 this afternoon. So there we go.
Well, it's finally time to dance for the Raging Cajuns.
It sure is. Louisiana men's basketball is just a few hours away from tipping off in the NCAA tournament, and we are in Orlando with the Cajuns. Sports Director Seth Lewis has more on the tournament. Hey, Seth.
Hey Marcel, welcome to the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, where in just a few hours UL will take on Tennessee in the NCAA tournament. Now the Cajuns are the 13th seed and are considered an underdog, but March Madness is all about the Cinderella story, and we'll see if the glass slipper fits tonight. Louisiana's 11-point underdogs according to Vegas, but can use the past to inspire their hopes. In recent years, small schools like St. Peter's or Loyola Chicago have made deep, improbable runs in the tournament. And when it comes to 13 seeds in the tourney, they've pulled 4 upsets in their last 13 chances, including Furman, who knocked off Virginia earlier today in Orlando. Louisiana admits to dreaming of their one shining moment, but they can't nap on the task at hand.
I think it always crosses your mind. So it's something that it may come up, it may be a thought, but at the same time, we have to realize that it is one game at a time. And in order to get to 3 games or however many games, you have to take care of the first one.
You got to learn to take certain teams' tendencies away and just really just key in on certain things, because you got to be able to go through adversity and just understand that both teams are going to make a run. I mean, you just got to just take each play by play, just one by one.
Louisiana and Tennessee tip off at 8:40 Lafayette time, 9:40 here in Orlando. This will be the Cajuns' 3rd time facing the Vols in the NCAA tournament. If Louisiana would be able to pull off the upset, it would be their first tourney win since 1992. Now, on an injury note, LCA product Greg Williams Jr. has been in a walking boot, but in the press conference yesterday, he admitted that he would be good to go for this game. Now, coming up at 6, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick will join me here in Orlando as we discuss keys to the game for the Cajuns and Vols. But for now, from Orlando, Seth Lewis, KATC Sports.
Alrighty, thank you, Seth. I'm heading out to go to the Teacher Awards tonight. I'm emceeing that event, so Jim and Rob will carry you through the rest of this newscast, and I'll see you live at 6 o'clock.
All right, sounds good. And NASA out with a discovery, more water on the moon than previously believed. Stay with us for the good news coming up next.
Live from the KATC TV3 studios, this is Acadiana's News Channel at 10.
Good evening, and thanks for choosing Acadiana's News Channel at 10 o'clock. I'm Jim Hummel. The Raging Cajuns battling it out tonight against Tennessee in the NCAA tournament, and we have team coverage. Christina Mondragon is live in Lafayette with fans cheering on the Cajuns from here at home. But we start with Seth Lewis and Jamarcus Fitzpatrick live in Orlando at the Big Dance. Hey, guys.
Hey guys, and welcome to Orlando, where UL is currently battling Tennessee. but they're going to have to do some coming back. Now, I'm joined, of course, with Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. Jamarcus, just what's your thoughts so far with the Cajuns?
Well, Seth, honestly, this team has been battling. They've been overmatched in terms of size, but they've been out there battling. They did have an 8-0 run there in the first half to be able to tie the game up at 19, but then obviously Tennessee would close out the first half on an 11-0 run themselves, going into the half up 30-19. The three ball really hasn't been the thing that's worked for the Cajuns. We talked about at 6 o'clock how the three ball has been something they've struggled with over this past couple of games. They're 0 for 6 so far in the first half, so they have to figure out how they can get shots up and get the ball out to their shooters. Jordan Brown leads them in scoring and with 12, but right now nobody else is really helping to get any points.
And it's not like UL was playing bad on defense, right? They forced 12 turnovers in that first half. Some of that was unforced errors by Tennessee, but they really couldn't take advantage of it, and they had 8 turnovers of their own for 20 turnovers total between the two teams. I don't think they'll be teaching at offensive basketball or any basketball clinics anytime soon in the first half. But if the Cajuns are to get back into it, they definitely have to get a little bit better from the perimeter, and they have to get somebody going other than Jordan Brown. At halftime, Brown was the only player in the whole game in double digits, right? And so for them, somebody else has to get going, and they're going to have to hit a three-point shot against a team in Tennessee that has the best defense in the country.
In the three-point game. And honestly, looking at things, it's going to be tough for them to be able to do it. If they can go on a run, then they should be able to make this one closer, but we'll have to see how it goes.
So we'll see if UL can pull it out. Of course, we'll have coverage of the Cajuns in Orlando throughout tomorrow, no matter the result. But for now, we're going to toss it to Christina Mondragon, who is at Pete's and is catching up with some Cajun fans checking out the game. Hey, Christina.
Hey guys, I'm here at the Pete's Sports Bar on Johnson Street, where the watch party is going on right behind me, and where local fans are excited and proud to see the UL men's basketball team playing in Orlando. We have a devoted longtime fan since 1958 who is here and is just happy that our boys' hard work paid off.
I think it's super. You know, they deserve it. All those kids have worked really hard. Bob Moreland's a heck of a coach, as far as I'm concerned, because he grows men, not only basketball players, you know, and I just appreciate all of them. And I certainly wish him well tonight.
We're here to support the Cajuns because, you know, it's been 9 years since we've been to the big dance, and so we want to make sure that we support them, and the best way to do it is in a restaurant with a lot of other Cajun fans.
Now the game spirits are going to keep up all night long, and fans will continue to cheer on our Raging Cajuns and even have a raffle at Pete's for the rest of March Madness to see who makes it to the Final Four. In Lafayette, KATC TV3, sending it back to you guys in the studio.
There you have it, Tiger fans. Kim Mulkey hoisting up the Women's Basketball National Championship trophy. And just hours ago, you watched LSU finish the job and win that national championship right here on KATC. And now the team is enjoying a well-deserved win. So let's cut to the chase and get right to Jamarcus Fitzpatrick, who has all the details for us. Hey, Jamarcus, what's the score?
Hey, thank you, Taylor. So 707 days ago, Kim Mulkey came to LSU to win championships. And in year 2, the Bayou Bengals did just that, winning the program's first ever national title, beating the Iowa Hawkeyes and getting Mulkey her 4th championship. The Tigers went all out in this one, scoring 102 points against the Hawkeyes, which is an NCAA record for championship games. 5 LSU players scored in double figures, but none being bigger than guard Jasmine Carson, who after 3 LSU starters got in foul trouble would drop 21 points in the first half off the bench. Angel Reese would secure the Most Outstanding Player of the Game award, hauling in her NCAA record 34th double-double of the season. Our Seth Lewis and Megan Glover have more from Dallas.
Let's be honest, LSU was playing with house money all weekend long. A lot of people expected that the winner of the semifinal between South Carolina and Iowa would just walk their way into a national title, but Kim Mulkey and her group pulling off the impossible and bringing home the first national title in program history.
Man, it's surreal. You know, all the hard work that you put in the summer and just your entire life, and, you know, to end it with me like being a senior and being a national champion, you know, it means a lot.
Don't stop believing in God, man. You know, she just told me when I entered the portal last year, I said I'm going south and I'm winning the chip, and that's what I did. I just believed in Coach Kim and what this team could do, and God did.
I'm super happy for the program first, but this is bigger than me. I mean, I had so many goals coming into LSU, but I didn't think I was going to win a national championship within my first year at LSU. I mean, I'm just happy for this team.
What's going through my head is Coach Moki is the GOAT. I thank God first, because without him, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this. I'm blessed and highly favored, man. National my first year. Not even my first year.
Now, this may all seem like it happened quick, and it did, but this program is also built on the foundation of greats, including Simone Augustus, who has her own statue outside of the PMAC. Our Megan Glover caught up with the LSU legend to get her thoughts on the win.
Simone, obviously, what are your emotions for this LSU team here?
I'm just so proud of them. I'm so happy. I don't know if we expected to do this in 2 years, but when you have a coach like Coach Mark and you have players that are committed and buy into what she's saying, anything is possible, and that was shown today. Just being able to see them all play beautiful basketball, players stepping up, making plays throughout the game. It was just beautiful to feel the energy and see the energy in this building.
Obviously, kind of keeping this within the LSU family, your statue went up earlier this season. How poetic was that for it to end in the fashion that it did?
I mean, this year has been a monumental year for our program, but also in women's history, you know, being that I have a statue up. But, I mean, it's amazing. I can't really sum up in words what this means, but it's the greatest feeling to know that we're inspiring the next generation of young basketball players, young girls that'll be right here one day doing what we're doing.
To that point, the women's game just continued to grow. Of course, tickets were higher for the women's tournament than the men's tournament. I believe the highest, or at least to get in, was at least $400. How does that make you feel to see the game continuing to grow?
People access, visibility, people being able to see this game. We've always known it was a great game, but now the country knows, the world knows, and people are investing in it, and they're excited about the possibility of what can happen moving forward. So that's a beautiful thing.
Were you able to talk to the ladies right before the game started, or at least yesterday?
No, I'm so superstitious. I was just like, I don't want to do anything that I didn't do on Friday, so I just stayed in my seat. I watched the game. It was just great to be able to come out here and you know, just be here, man.
And then lastly for me, Simone, we talked with Angel earlier in the week, and she was asked about inspiring the girls of today, and of course she talked about how she met you, and now you all share a personal relationship. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I didn't know when we took that picture that everyone showed at the statue what impact that would have on her, but to know that, you know, it had a profound impact on what she wanted to do, who she wanted to be as a young baller, and here we are today. She won a championship at the same school that I got a statue, and I mean, to be able to see her do that and feel inspired by me is amazing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Simone, and congrats to you as well.
Now, coming up in sports, Megan Glover joins me as we get into the X's and O's of just how LSU was able to pull off this upset against Iowa for the national championship. But for now, from Dallas, Seth Lewis, KATC Sports.
Thank you very much, guys. And like Seth just mentioned, coming up later in sports, we have much more on our coverage on the Tigers hoisting the national title. But for now, live in studio, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick, KATC Sports.
Coming up tonight on Friday Night Football, the upset alert was on Bro Bridges' side last week, but can they do it again, this time hosting the Iota Bulldogs?
Plus, we stayed busy in Division II. LCA, Turlings, and STM are all back from their bye weeks, and they begin their road to the Dome. And in our game of the week, Acadiana and Karen Crow meet for the second time in 22 days, but this time it's win or go home for this sequel.
In November, the name of the game is Survive and Advance, so in the words of Zion, let's dance. Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Football. I'm Seth Lewis.
And I'm Jamarcus Fitzpatrick.
Jamarcus, we have entered phase 2 of the playoffs, which means that now all of our teams are officially in action, including those that had bye weeks last week.
Yeah, and in case of Karen Crow, I'm sure it felt more like a bye month, as the Bears haven't played since October. The last time that we saw them play, it was in that thriller against Acadiana. And what do you know? Their first opponent in the playoffs is the Rams. Now, this is the definition of an even matchup. Acadiana and Karen Karen Crow are the 8 and 9 seeds in the Select 1 division, and they both play a similar style by running the veer. And they decided the factor for the last meeting came to be just 1 point. A scoreless first quarter in this one, so we're going to skip ahead to the second. 4 minutes left in the quarter. Acadiana up 7-zip. The Rams on the punt. Russell Babineau, he's going to take it and pick things up for a nice game. Flipping field there as Acadiana is within the Bears offense. And then we're going to see Caden Dibetta looking to punch it in yet again, but a Bears brawl to take him down. So the Rams settle for 3 to end the drive. Rams extend the lead 10-0. Time running out. Chance Caesar scrambling, looking for a man downfield, and he'll lay his eyes right into the hands of Chance Babineau, the freshman, as time expires at halftime. But the Bears have a chance to go for 2. They've done this before. They're stuffed at the line, so Acadiana leads going into the half up 10-6. Over the hump now. Acadiana now trailing 13-10. Tavian Lemaire off to the side, and he'll weave his way into the end zone to put the Rams up 17-13. Later in the quarter, 2 minutes left. Joni Martin, scoop and score for the young fella. He's going to rumble into the end zone. The junior has put Karen Crow back on top 20-17 in this one. And in the fourth quarter, it's never over until it's over. Caesar strikes to Kendrick Bernard, showing off the arm, and he dashes for nearly 60 yards to put the Bears near the goal line and put the nail in the coffin in this one, as Karen Crow pulls off the victory in this one with a 27-17 victory. They're advancing to the next round.